Hello everyone, this is TheNelston. Welcome back to another video. Have you ever wanted to gamble, but instead of losing both money and dignity, you only lose your dignity? Well, if so, then I think you're really going to enjoy this build, because in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a Spellsteal Roulette build. Now, I do know that this is a Spellsteal Assassin build. I've made a video about this in the past with the Black Dagger as opposed to this time, but I felt like this was such a fun build that I had to cover it. And of course, this was a build recommended to me by a viewer by the name of Denny. So if you guys have your own builds that you'd like to recommend to me, or if you want me to kind of showcase your ideas, then feel free to reach out to me as well, because I love covering content that you guys want to watch. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get straight into the video. First things first, let's go ahead and take a look at the items that this build is comprised of. Now keep in mind, this does require a crafted item, which is a flip lapis bracelet, as well as a mythic pair of boots, but both these items are not particularly expensive, and especially for the Flappis, you don't really need great rolls on it. So yeah, it shouldn't be too hard to get, but do keep in mind, this is a mythic and crafted build, so it may be out of the price range of some people. So for the helmet, we have the Spark Weaver. For the chestplate, we have the Far Cosmos. For the leggings, we have Dark Shroud. For the boots, we have Dawnbreak. For ring number 1, we have Drowy Fair. Ring number 2, we have Summa. For the bracelet, we have the Flip Lapis bracelet. And for the necklace, we have Contrast. Now for the weapons, there are 4 main ones. I have 5 because, well, I like to get an XP bonus whenever I can. We have, of course, Roulette as our main weapon. We have Slider for the walk speed. We have the Exploited for greed. And we also have Tregad for the lifesteal, just in case we need it. And also for tanking with the health and the plus 20 def and agi. Next, we're going to take a look at the build in the Wynn Builder engine, and I'm going to try to explain kind of what's going on in terms of the item usage. So for the helmet, we have the Spark Weaver, and the main reason for this is, well, it gives you mana steal and also dex and def. For the chestplate, we're using Far Cosmos because it gives 45 skill points. For the leggings, we have Dark Shroud because it gives 50 skill points in addition to some mana steal. The boots are Dawnbreak because they give mana steal plus lifesteal in addition to some fire and thunder damage boosts. And of course, they also have minus attack speed so that you can actually use the spell steal. For the ring, we have Summa, and this is just for the additional 10 skill points, as well as some mana regen. For the other ring, we have Drowy Fair for the -1 spell cost. And then for the bracelet, we're using the Flipped Lapis bracelet. Now, this doesn't require you to get a perfect roll, but I am going to use the perfect roll for the sake of, I guess, this video, just to show you what the maximum potential is. And then for the necklace, we have Contrast because, well, I mean, it gives mana regen, lifesteal, health regen, in addition to about 900 health, so it's great for sustain. And then finally, we have the dagger, which is, well, you can see why it's called roulette, right? It does very, very little damage, but the thunder damage percentage is, yeah, you're gonna want a good roulette for this, because if you have a bad roulette, you're going to be missing out on a ton of damage. And then, of course, you know, the +8 dex is great for doing more damage. Now, looking at the stats, we'll see that the DPS is about 3.8k with melees, which is, you know, to be expected. Spin attack average is going to be 6.3k. Multi-hits are going to be 16.5k, and these costs are going to be 133. And the smoke bomb is also going to do about 25k total damage. You get a little bit of poison just to kind of top things off. You have 15.7k total HP, and then a whopping 96.7k effective HP with a thunder build. So yeah, I mean, that's fun. And even without agi, that is still 40k effective HP with positive health point regen, so about 1k effective HPR. You also have 4k effective lifesteal, and for the mana regen and sustain, we have 3-5 mana regen, 8-3 mana steal, and quite good walk speed, so you can get around pretty quickly. Some decent exploding to clear out waves of mobs. Yeah, 1,200% thunder damage, because why not? And then, of course, just to make things even nicer, you have 36% on the combat XP and 10% on the loot bonus. For the skill points, you can see that they're pretty distributed heavily towards thunder, water, and fire, and of course agility as well, with strength being there mostly just to fill the requirement for Drowy Fair. And if we take a look at the damage in Vanish, you'll see that the damage goes up, well, you know, quite a bit. And then, of course, if we're in a totem, it'll do even more damage. Unfortunately, you can't proc courage because there are no powder slots for it, but assuming someone did curse the mob that you're trying to attack, you'd be doing about 37k on the multis, 14k on the spins, and 57k on the smoke bombs. One more thing I forgot to mention with this build. The reason it's called roulette is because of the following. If you look at the spin attack, you will either do anywhere from 0 damage to 35,967 damage on a spin attack. Of course, that is a critical, but you know, still. And then with the multi-hit, you'll do anywhere from, if you look at the first 10th hits, 6.4k, yeah, you'll do anywhere from like 0 to 40 or 50k damage. And then finally, of course, same thing with the smoke bombs. Either you do 0 damage or you can do up to 144,000 damage. So yeah, a very fun build, and if your luck is great, well, you're gonna really like this. So this build looks really fun on paper, but how does it actually fare in terms of, you know, usability? Well, let's test it out in our housing that has clearly had a lot of effort put into it. First off, just to prove that I'm not cheating, island settings, rules, you can see no infinite mana, no double IDs, I have no skill points, stat pots, anything like that active. So let's just teleport over and cycle. So we got very lucky with that cycle and we did 113k average DPS. Yeah, that is 6-digit DPS burst, without powder specials, without crazy expensive mythics, just a lot of gambler's luck. And if we try this again, let's see how much damage we can get on the next cycle. Yeah, about 87k DPS. So this is an incredibly fun build. It does a crazy amount of damage, surprisingly, and best of all, it has great sustain and great EHP. So you can use this in raids, and because it has decent combat XP bonus as well, you could even use it to grind mobs if you felt like it. Which is probably a good idea for me to do since, you know, I need to do my daily objective. Instead of showing you guys the build myself, now I'm going to be pulling up a clip of Denny, the person who submitted this build, using the build in Legendary Island. And I'm not going to be doing this mostly because he's had a lot more experience with the build, and also it's his build, so I'd like to give him, you know, some of the spotlight here. So without further ado, here are some clips of this roulette build being used against the helpless bosses of Legendary Island. Hope you guys enjoy. Alright, well that's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is kind of a shorter one, but I wanted to put a spotlight on someone from the kind of the TheNelston community, I guess you could call it, who sent this really incredible build. And, you know, if you want to swing by and also suggest builds or just talk with other people from the server, feel free to join my Discord. The link is in both the description as well as my pinned comment. And of course, I'm always, happy to check my DMs, so you can send me a friend request, send me a message in game. I'm always happy to talk and show off your builds if you have a good one. So without further ado, I'm going to end things off here. Thank you all again for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to leave a like. If you hated it, make sure to leave a dislike. Subscribe for more content like this. And as always, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.